Hello everybody, it is Marty McConnell, the Off-Grid Gecko here, and today I'm going to be doing a video about building a chicken coop. This chicken coop, this baby comes standard with 3 nest boxes, large open swinging door, a deep bottom for composting up chicken litter, and a very strong pop door. It's made completely from recycled materials, mostly stuff left over from the cladding project on the house. That's for lumber. If you were to build something like this, it might run you right around $100 in materials if you get your lumber from a mill directly instead of going to the lumber store. So it's a little bit cheaper. It ended up being a little bit cheaper than building with plywood, and I mean, that's solid 1-inch thick pine, 2 inches thick in a lot of places. So there was no framing involved. This was all done with planking, and any little amounts of framing were done by arranging the planks in very interesting ways. So this is mostly going to be just a quiet video with a couple bloopers of me building the thing, and then if you want to see the flow through and how everything is designed, then you can go ahead and skip to the end of the video if you want, or just watch the whole thing. And don't forget to subscribe before you head out. Building this off the cuff, so I'm going to be taking measurements as I go. Okay, so I've been standing here giving this some thought as to knowing how tall the walls need to be before I can make these cuts. But then it dawned on me, I don't really care how tall they are right now, and I don't want to worry about that until I'm actually building it. That way I can tweak and change as I go. Alright, part of me wants to use that piece of plywood that I found back there to span this. The other part of me really doesn't want to. Well, would you look how nicely those fit in there. I didn't even plan that. I'll give the cats a nice place to play. Alright, what's next? Alright, so I had to move it over here. This thing's starting to get heavy. I eventually plan on putting wheels on it so I can pick it up and tote it around, but that's not happening today because I don't have wheels, and I'm not manufacturing wheels today. I don't think. No, that's a terrible idea. Alright, that's going to give me 12.5 inches here for door space. Using this guy basically just to keep these guys where they're supposed to be for now. So I need another 5-footer. I'll 5-footer myself to death. Luckily, I got these from the cutoffs from some of the 5-footers, so that's good. This is where it gets a little bit tricky, and why it's good to invest in plans. The nails didn't go all the way through. Awesome sauce. Let's just give them a little perch to climb on when they're hopping in their box. Alright, I've made a decision. I'm going to go 4 feet on this side. I'm going to go 6 feet on that side. I could probably get away with 5, but 6 feet makes the math real easy for making my angles. So that's what I'm doing. And it's a really handy thing that I decided to buy this 100-foot extension cord a while ago. It's been sitting in my car for like 2 months. Alright, Alrighty, so that top part is not going to connect quite exactly because I didn't cut the board at a slant. It's actually turning out pretty solid. Went ahead and ran some boards up on the back and on the front side over there. It's just kind of busy work, and I was just trying to get something done at the end of the workday yesterday, so I didn't take any video. Don't mind the big antenna or the radio. Basically listening on the airwaves to see if I can test this antenna today if anybody hops on. I can take this second piece, mount it up just like that, and then we should be pretty much good to go. And then we'll take these and go ahead and nail them in that way to that. That way the partitions for the chickens are in there. And this is where all the problems start. So we want a slanted roof. So I'm nailing in these uprights on the outside here. They'll look like trim pieces from the outside when I'm done. But that'll give me something to nail these boards into from the inside. And that'll sure this up and steady it up over here. I'll probably have to drive a couple more nails into this. I'm gonna have to cut a little notch to get this board to go over. Rough sawn boards are not always perfectly straight, so you gotta work with what you work with. That's why I waited to get to the top before I messed with this too much. But yeah, that's starting to feel more secure. So I found some little screws to make a little door. This side and that side are not really matched together. Don't do that. So the definition of a free-range chicken is birds must have access to an outdoor area for at least 6 hours each day. Sounds good, right? Each hen must have at least two square feet of outdoor space. So about as much room as this tire takes up if I were to lay it down flat. Outdoor space doesn't need to have any living vegetation. Think about that for a minute. Yeah, anyways, I'll leave you with that. I got a tire to change. Don't forget to subscribe. I'm getting started a little late this afternoon. Alright, so this is the little chicken hopper, as I call it. We got a board here on the bottom for them to like use as a hop up. And then they got an intermediate roost right here. And they should be able to jump up from the other side as well and hop up on here. And then they can hop up here on top if they want to be the big rooster in charge. Alrighty. I'm convinced this is going to fall, but I'm going to try and tack it. Ready? Son of a... Ow. All right, got me a nut driver this morning. Oh, that's Sorry you guys missed that whole thing. Not that you would have seen anything anyways. It's kind of dark in the picture there. So I got it stapled up there. If I want to, I can add pretty trim later. So I'm going to take this cutoff piece here and use it to put a little extra protection on this nest box part. Just basically a little bit, something to get in the way if stuff's trying to get in there but still allow ventilation. And Before I walk away, I'm just gonna hang this door real quick. Alright. Might do a review on this stapler at some point. So far this thing seems to be holding up okay. Alright. So, engines operate. Oh god. Okay, we're all done with this project for now. We're mostly done. I'm sorry about the wind. It's acting stupid today. But first I want to thank my cats. They found one weakness. Yellow cat popped up here and started trying to push his way in through that vent. He couldn't get in, but something tells me a determined raccoon or skunk is definitely going to be able to. So I'm going to be putting up some more boards here to brace this and just tacking this sheet metal down on this side nice and solid, a little bit more like it is on the top. There's still an open gap on the top too, so I may do something about that. It just depends on how much I feel like it. But for right now, the thing's pretty solid, so I guess I'll show you the nest boxes first. There are two of these normal latches, one at either end, because this lid is a little bit flimsy, so I wanted to make sure it was just battened down on both sides to where this thing's not going to come flying open. We've got our little stream of vent material here. This is just some screen to guard smaller critters and snakes from getting up in there into the eggs. And there's plenty of room to reach down in here, get eggs, shoo off broody hens, and that kind of stuff. Pretty solid build, really. Let's check out the front of the pop door. This top part's just aluminum tin roofing. So the pop door, I went ahead and put a latch lock on it. Fairly easy to open. I don't know how long it's going to take a coon to figure out that lock, but they may figure it out. So I might have to modify this at some point. I just built this out of the gangway, out of 2 planks and some of these little laths, I think they're called. That's what we used to call them in surveying anyways, the little stuff they use to keep wood boards separated when you get them from the mill. Just a good repurposing project for those. The door is 11 by 12, I believe, or maybe 11 by 13. 11 by 13, I think. So plenty of room for even a large species. Ooh, the vents in the front are still going to need a bit of covering. So we've got these screens up here to keep insects and critters out while allowing the coop to breathe, especially in the summertime. I do plan on making a drop door for this also, and just not feeling up to it right now. It rained pretty hard the other day and the inside of this coop was totally dry, so I'm not too worried about that at the moment. I'm more worried about some of the finishing touches that I need to put on before I can actually get chickens in here, and then towards the end of summer when it starts cooling down, if I'm not already done with that, it'll become a priority. We've got another potential weakness up here. So I'm probably going to have to do some iron cladding on that, just like I'm going to do on the front. Let's go around here to the back. The door is latched down here at the bottom with a simple kick latch. You just pull it open, and I put a nice little handle on it too. Isn't that nice? Yay, handles. Alrighty. Now we got the inside of the coop. So over here I've got a beam running across, so the hens can hop up on here and they can take a look, see which nest box they want to crawl in, and then hop in to lay their eggs. I'm thinking about doing another nest box in here on the floor somewhere, just in case one of the hens gets broody, like they'll have a place to protect their eggs where I can't get to them necessarily. So maybe they can hide their eggs in there and then they can sit on them. There is issues apparently with other hens sneaking in there to pop in and lay eggs while the broody hen is out eating. I don't know where that comes from exactly, so I'm going to look into it, because it seems to me you open the pop door, all the chickens come out, they eat, and then most of them stay outside, and it would seem that the broody hen would go right back in. So I don't know if that's actually going to be an issue, or if that's one of these things that people just make up over time because it happened one time and they're like, oh, well, this happened one time to one person, so we can never do this again. One of those kind of deals. I'm not sure. If you know for sure, like, go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know. On this side, we've got the roost, which is all the way up here above me, and then I've got a second roost right here. So they've got two levels. The top beam runs all the way across, and it basically supports this entire structure. And the structure is also supported on the back there, so I've got some pieces screwed directly into that back wall. And they've got a climb up ladder here, so they can hop up here and then up here, or they can hop directly from this beam up to here. Same thing. Again, in theory, I may be putting some ladders in here at some point, so that they can kind of walk up or hobble up instead of having to climb or jump. As far from what I understand, this is only like 1.5 feet. That's not much of a hop for them. And then it's 1 foot from here to here, and then 1 foot from here to here. So I don't know. We'll see, I guess. I've got a little waterer and a little feeder that are pretty much ready to go. I'm going to suspend these with paracord or something. I think I'm just going to put some eye bolts in here, and then I may run that string over here somewhere so that I can raise and lower these as time goes on, so that they're hanging basically off to the side of this area, and hopefully they don't collect a whole bunch of poop, being that they're under part of the roost. But I'm hoping that won't be a problem. It may be, and I might have to put like a little top on these to, you know, like a gutter to deflect falling chicken poop, falling chicken prices. So the pop door back there is actually about 6 inches off of the ground of the coop. So over time, there's going to be bedding in here that's going to consist of sawdust and straw and grass clippings and things like that to collect those nitrogen compounds and just give them a place to go. It's called litter. It's a pretty standard procedure. But I basically have this set up to where that stuff can kind of collect and build up. So every time it starts to get a little smelly, you just throw more hay and more wood chips in, and essentially it works just like the cat litter box inside, or like my litter box. It's, you know, same kind of principle. Like, that stuff absorbs all the smell and it starts a decomposition. So instead of smelling like rancid chicken poop, you get a smell that's more earthy. Allegedly this works. Now, in order for this to work all the way, I may have to put some kind of stop in over here. Like, I may just get a board and slide it in here to the end and then take it out whenever I clean the stuff out. I should be able to rake everything out this side onto like a tarp or a piece of wood, and then just drag it off and put it in the compost heap over there, or throw it on the garden or whatever. So they're basically going to be composting their own manure while they're in here with it. So mostly. I mean, it'll have to do some composting outside, but not much. And that also reduces the number of times you have to clean it out. The floors, just like the walls, are made of these boards, these planks, so there are little tiny gaps in between. Got to keep an eye on those, because once they get bigger than about 1/4 of an inch, then they need to be plastered shut, or there needs to be some chinking material put in there to stop small snakes from coming up into the coop and attacking the baby chicks. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Don't forget to subscribe and like, and pretty soon we're gonna have chickens. But I'm tired, so I'm gonna take a little nap.